to the Real Estate Huddle. You all know the giant communities out there like Highlands Ranch, Parker, Lone Tree. We've talked about those a lot on our podcast here. But today we're focusing on the underrated suburbs in the Denver metro area that are just outside of what we would call, these big towns that will provide great schools, short commutes, vibrant downtown atmospheres in some of these, and prices that can stretch your money a little bit further and get you a little more house for your money. So these communities, they do fly under the radar, but they absolutely outperform a lot of other areas in lifestyle, value right now specifically, and future appreciation. So if you're priced out of the suburban giant of neighborhoods, or you just want more bang for your buck, this will be a good podcast for you to listen to. So we're going to talk first about what makes a place underrated or up and coming in your guys' opinions, as far as different neighborhoods go.
What makes it up and coming?
Yeah.
I think just the activity of kind of whether it's an older neighborhood and you have activity of investors gentrifying the neighborhoods, or it's a newer development, that type of activity usually means all right, this is going to develop, this is things and then you start hearing about it. A lot of word of mouth comes around.
When leases are signed by commercial places
and
stuff.
Yep. And then you start seeing the Walmarts pop up, and then you start seeing all these restaurants are oh man, Five Guys is over here. That's crazy.
Totally.
Just we see it time and time again. We've seen it with Sterling Ranch. We've seen it with just all these different places that just start popping up, and they just have really good master developers and
it's kind of like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So
yeah.
If you build the houses, the Costco's and the Walmarts and all the other stuff will come there to support it. So
a lot of these up and coming places too are happening more on in the north side of Colorado, northern Denver area, just because that's a bunch of USDA land and farmers are selling it out to develop it. And as much as I don't like that, I appreciate that there's new places to live and that there's things popping up and more amenities all over the place in Colorado. It's pretty awesome. So yeah.
It's also usually a cheaper option if they're just kind of getting started.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not paying for the price of that neighborhood, right? But it's just the overall experience is what it comes down to, right? How good is it to live there? How good is the proximity to other things, that are fun to do or things that you want to frequent, that sort of thing. Yeah. So awesome. So yeah, we'll talk about this. And some of these places have lower taxes too, lower tax rates than other areas that are more popular in town. And so the other reasons why some people love these neighborhoods that we'll talk about is just the commute efficiency. I'm always a big believer in short commutes equal happiness, right? So if you can have access to major highways, I-25, Highway 36, C-470, I-70, you're going to be a lot happier when you don't have to drive, 40 minutes in and out, to get to these places. And so a lot of these places that we've thought of are with that mindset that they're easy to connect and get places fast, which adds to your happiness, I think, when you live in a place like that. At least it does for me.
Yeah, no, indeed. That's always a proximity to a freeway entrance is a good thing to measure out in your happiness for the length of your commute. So
yep, for sure. School districts too. That's a big deal. So many people, even if you don't have kids, you should be thinking about the school districts because that really drives value, right? In a lot of cases. And so everybody talks about Douglas County schools and Cherry Creek schools as some of the best school systems, best school ratings, stuff like that, just based on greatschools.com. But there's some other pockets that are really, really strong that you should be aware of. And also there could be a district that has a 5 out of 10, but then one school within that district is a 10 out of 10, so we're going to talk about some of those today too. So schools absolutely drive some value.
Yeah, that's where you get that community involvement. So if you've got a good strong community there, most of the time you see that correlate to better schools and more activities. So,
yep, definitely.
And that's a hard thing to measure on a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Well, and just the overall, I think everybody loves the American dream of having their fence and the privacy and having your own residence and having protection from other people. But there's the European dream that's come into a lot of our hearts, right? Where you love that connectivity and like walkability around neighborhoods.
Public transportation
Yeah.
and stuff like
walk
that.
store.
Yeah.
Be able to get places without having to drive everywhere, walking down your stairs and then being like, you know, 1 block from a bread shop or from a coffee shop and that sort of thing, right? So that's really appealing to a lot of people, and that's another thing that makes some of these areas underrated because they have those pretty close by. So that's something else we're going to talk through. And then last but not least, just, you know, the amount of inventory that's available in some of these areas is a big deal right now, and how it compares with like some of these areas that are closer to new construction. Like everything on the east side of town and the north side of town has a ton of new construction. So like Thornton, Broomfield, Brighton, you're competing with a ton of new construction, offering 6%, you know, closing cost buy downs, fixed rate buy downs, all kinds of stuff. Parker, Castle Rock, Aurora, all of those, like Centennial, East Centennial, they're all competing with a ton of new construction. So a lot of those markets, I think, may be softer for years to come, just because they've got a lot of land to build on.
Yeah.
And when you're competing with those builders, it's going to be tough. So the homes that we're going to talk about today are like what we think are underrated because of their projection for how they could appreciate in the next 5 to 10 years, while those other areas may be lagging a little bit because of the new construction and the extra supply that they have there. So that's another huge factor right now that I think anyone who's moving into town should consider from a short-term perspective. Okay. So let's get right into it. Number 1 on our list for underrated suburbs. Okay. And this is one that we don't frequent a ton because we're down here in the, you know, Highlands Ranch, DTC area, but Erie is a pretty cool suburb of Boulder and has a lot to offer up there.
Yeah, I like Erie. It's like we said, we don't frequent it that often, but it's right between Broomfield and Longmont, right up there by Lafayette, and it's a little bit farther north from Denver, so you're still kind of in this really new development. There's still stuff up there, don't get me wrong. It's not like just straight farmland, but it used to be. Definitely used to be, and you can still tell that it used to be, but there's still like a lot of really good stuff to do up there. It's just a really good family community is what it comes down to. Like young families are moving there. They've got great rec centers. I personally love that they have an outdoor hockey rink, and it's like an actual hockey rink. They've got little figure skating stuff going on there. They've got hockey tournaments in the winter. They've got a great rec center.
What's the Zamboni driver like?
Haven't met him yet, but
it's just clean too. It's very clean.
no, it's very clean.
And, and the school district's amazing. The St. Vrain Valley School District is really good, and so a lot of people love that about it. But people's mind tends to gravitate to Superior and Louisville when they think of like Boulder communities, and Erie's kind of left behind a little bit. It has been in the past, where I think that's an opportunity for a lot of buyers to pay less for Erie compared to those other two. And in some cases, Longmont too, you know, that drives a higher dollar amount per square foot. So you can get more money per square foot. There's still plenty of space to build. So you are competing a little bit with builders up there too. But you've got access to Boulder and Denver, you know, from Erie. That's not terrible as far as the commute goes. And all of those suburbs of Boulder have a really like quaint downtown areas like that are a lot of fun. So that's another thing that I love about.
And if you're into more of the outdoor lifestyle, it does help being closer to Boulder or even like Fort Collins up there. If you do like kind of more of the activities they do up north and that kind of thing.
Rocky Mountain National Park, you've got
without being all the way like far away.
Yep. You can still visit Pearl Street. You can still see all the mimes and street performers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But have like the quietness and clean atmosphere of Erie. So there's definitely a lot to like there.
They've got some really good builders up there too. Some of like one in particular that I love is Toll Brothers. They've got great floor plans, just really solid homes. The fact that Toll Brothers is up there means a lot. They obviously like to build in some really well-planned areas. Richmond Homes is up there. I think KB is building up there. D.R. Horton. Lennar is up there. So all the big builders are moving into these subdivisions and up and coming neighborhoods, which is a great sign for anybody that is looking for like what we just said, affordability, but soon to be, if not already, really good places to live.
And we, like, as Coloradans, we love to be like homegrown, right? A lot of times. So like there's farmers markets every week there. They have, some really cool things like that bring the community together. And a couple others are like the Erie Town Fair, the balloon festival that they have down there is pretty cool. They have concerts, they have art nights. There's just a lot of community involvement and togetherness, within the community. And I think that's another thing that drives the value. But like massive neighborhoods like Vista Ridge with a ton of amenities and Erie Ridge as well are good ones to check out if you like that north side of town or that's your workspace up there. Yeah. So it's a good one.
It's nice. It's not far from Boulder. Like if you want to go up to Boulder and check it out up there, you're not far. You're not far from Denver, that far from Denver at least. It's a good spot, but not too close to the city, so you're still kind of away from it all.
Yeah.
So
and if you're buying an
if you're
Erie,
that person,
expect to pay mid 600s, on price. You're not going to find some of the best prices in the state because it's such a desirable area, but 600s to $1 million plus, for some of the more custom homes. But that's kind of the price range that you're looking at.
I'm sure we're missing some things in Erie as well. To be honest, the only time I'm up in Erie is for sports. So for like kids sports and stuff. So that's usually the time that we go up there. But when we do go up there, we do have to spend quite a bit of time. So if we are missing anything, we apologize. But it looks like an awesome place to be, just based off numbers and what's coming and what's already there.
Yeah. They've got some great sports venues. And like up north too, like we just went to Bounce Empire, which is in Lafayette. So it's a little bit north of there. But Lafayette is like crazy. It's booming right now too. So that's another one that I would put on the list. But this Bounce Empire place had more, like it was the coolest bounce house like place I've ever seen in my life. It's massive. It's the biggest in the state and it's brand new. They just opened it. So definitely one to check out if you want to get up, close to Erie and go up north and scope that out. And if you haven't checked out Pearl Street and gone up to Boulder and explored that and seen like Folsom Field and all that stuff there, like it is the coolest setting. Just the mountain backdrop and everything is amazing there. So we all need to get out and see more of Colorado. That's for sure. So number 2 on our list, we've got Frederick and Firestone. So if you're going, where? Just keep going north up I-25.
Yeah. You'll find it.
You'll get there, right? You'll see the Johnstown and Firestone and Frederick, like they all kind of run together up towards Fort Collins. So you have to keep driving up that way. But like Buc-ee's is up there. So we've done the Buc-ee's stop and that's like the highlight. You see like 9 billboards by the time you get there.
I had the best turkey sandwich from there the other day. I've had their brisket sandwich, which is really good.
The sandwich operation is incredible there. It's insane.
I don't even know where they get the meat. It's like, where are you guys getting this?
It's like a factory.
It just shows up.
Mm-hmm. Massive amounts of protein on those sandwiches.
Buc-ee's is...
And they slide them down the chute, ready to go.
Those Texans are doing something right. We've got Buc-ee's, we've got Torchy's, I know there's a couple other Texas-based places that are just...
Rudy's.
Yeah, there you go. Just some good stuff. Firestone, though, Firestone, Johnstown area, interesting.
It's right off of I-25, further north, probably just a little south of Loveland, but it's great access to I-25, so you can, have your home life and then be able to get to wherever you need to. So it's a pretty quick jaunt. It's north of North Glen and Erie, but it's pretty close to Erie. It's kind of kitty corner on the other side of the freeway.
Yeah. And you've got like the trail systems up there are incredible. Firestone Trail, St. Vrain's State Park is a real big attraction. And then Saddleback Golf Club is another one that's really fun to play. So there's hiking, biking, fishing, boating, and way more up there. And you're not that far away from Horsetooth Reservoir up in Fort Collins. So you've got a massive lake there to play on. So there's a lot to like about that part of town. And one of the biggest recreation facilities too, the Carbon Valley Park and Recreation District, has a huge pool, lazy river, water features, a steam room and a sauna, like all kinds of cool amenities there to check out. So there's a lot of fun up there. And I believe there's a Shields close by too, right?
Yeah, there is a Shields up there.
Yeah.
I think that's technically Johnstown, like Greeley, but close enough.
Right
there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not far from it. And anybody who doesn't know Shields should get to know Shields very quickly because
Shields is amazing.
it's just I have to like stop myself from going there because I don't have money to spend there. And if I go there,
have
I'm
no
inevitably
impulse
going.
control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's gone.
Your wife
Once
told
I
us.
enter that store, it's gone.
Yeah. It's got a Ferris wheel. It's got a huge, massive fish
Yeah,
tank.
it's ginormous.
It's huge. The experience of going to Shields is unbelievable. My first time we walked in there, we were just expecting it to be like Dick's Sporting Goods or something.
No,
we walked
it's
in,
like
and
a
my kids'
freaking
eyes were
resort.
just like, oh my gosh! And I knew I was.
There's
gonna
like a food court
fall out the wall.
inside. There's like kids play place inside. There's bowling, like mini bowling alleys, little shooting gallery places. It's
Yeah, it's crazy.
on top of every freaking sporting good you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good brands out there too.
Yeah, they also have like normal clothes and stuff too, not just like
Yeah, it's not
sport
just
clothes.
sporting goods. It's
Yeah.
it's just lifestyle.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, and the population has increased by 10% in the last 5 years in Frederick and Firestone. So that tells you something, right? People are catching on to the idea that, hey, if I can't qualify in the Denver metro area, keep driving till you qualify, and then you will, right? So just keep driving north, and you'll get there.
And
So
the cool part about these areas, so because of these areas and where they are built, you have other loan options that you wouldn't get elsewhere.
Yeah.
In the Denver metro area. Like, for example, USDA loans,
Yep.
which are incredible. And a lot of people can qualify for those. And there's a lot of benefits to those. We've talked about that in another podcast, so we won't go too far down that rabbit hole. But like incredible options to
Yeah.
get a brand new house out there.
So let me ask you this question. I want your real answers on this. What direction would you keep driving if you were driving to qualify? North, south, east, or west?
Definitely not west.
Well, there are some, like you can keep driving to Pine, Bailey. You can get deep enough in the mountains where you're not in resorts yet.
But here's
and
the
it's
problem.
cheaper.
Here's the problem. No. Wait. Insurance is the problem out there. Fire insurance, like there's people that aren't even, they're being dropped out there because
Yeah.
of fires and stuff. But you can find a cheaper house like in Bailey and stuff for sure. You just got to make sure you can get insured. I would say, so the farther south you go, you're definitely going to find more affordable options, especially once you get closer to Pueblo and Trinidad.
It's really keeping on
Big
driving.
Yeah, that's significantly so.
Colorado Springs is actually technically probably a little bit more affordable as well.
I think for me, I would probably drive south first.
Yeah.
I would because I love Castle Rock. I love Colorado Springs. I just think they're so
As far as
scenic.
preference?
They're so scenic
Yeah.
and beautiful down there. So I love those areas, and their market's like 40% less than ours.
You don't
in
want to go to
Colorado Springs.
Kansas? You don't want to push towards Kansas?
The East would be my last one, for me. Just personal opinion. That's I would think the further you go from the mountains, the more it feels like Kansas.
Yeah.
like,
Which technically, yeah.
I would rather live in Colorado, not have tornadoes,
Yeah.
and not be
Yeah.
a Chiefs fan. That's just me. I'll cheer on our 10-2 Broncos all day. By the time this shoots, they might not be 10-2. They might be 10-5. We don't know.
Craziest 10-2 team I've ever
Faith.
seen.
We're gonna be something good.
North. So would you put north before east? South, north, east,
absolutely.
west?
I would put north and south above east and west if I'm driving to qualify, because Fort Collins is also an awesome town. Like you have so much up there, and the middle points like between Fort Collins and Denver, like Frederick, Firestone, Johnstown, and there's more too. There's oh my gosh,
There's like Windsor too.
Windsor. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the one I was thinking of.
Windsor's cool. They've got some really cool like lake developments over there.
Yeah.
That are impressive.
They do. That
Like,
are big
really impressive.
reservoirs that are
And
like,
big homes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're probably going to be pushing like the 9 to 1.3, 1.5,
Yeah.
but you're still getting a lot of house on like waterfront property almost that.
That's for like custom though. Like
No, I'm saying like
there are
you,
builders
so you
that are
have
building
those.
in Windsor for 4.
Yes, but then you have the other side of things where it's like they're still building really nice homes that are much more affordable than even places
Yeah.
like
And a
Firestone.
lot of them are newer
Yeah.
in Windsor too.
Yeah, Windsor's cool.
During the pandemic, all we did was drive to Windsor to play basketball. That was the only place that was playing basketball at the time. So we went to the P2 Sports Center and played basketball there all the time.
One of my friends in college, her parents moved there, so then she just had to stay there the whole time, like during breaks and stuff, and she didn't like it. But she likes Windsor. She just was sad she didn't get to go back to Highlands Ranch.
Well, it's
with
funny
all of us.
if
Which is
you
kinda cool.
if you were to ask me like 10, 15 years ago if I would ever live in north of Denver, I'd be like, no, probably not. Not unless I want to buy a ranch or something. And now it's completely different.
Yeah.
There's been so much development over the past decade or two that it's not the same. And so you have a much different northern Colorado than what it used to be, in a really good sense for people who are looking to buy their first home. Or even up to, $1 million transactions. But places like Erie, Windsor, Lafayette, all these places that used to not be that way are very different. They're very family friendly and ready to go.
Yeah. And Windsor has a Fuzzies tacos, which already wins me over.
So would you call that a runner up to this list then? Windsor?
Yeah, I would. I think Windsor's a really cool opportunity up there if you're willing to drive or can work from home. Like you can get a lot of house for your money in Windsor and Frederick and Firestone.
Or if you're like a remote worker,
yeah,
it's a great place to be.
I mean, I would say similar to Colorado Springs values, honestly. Like it's close. It's probably not all the way down there, but it's
you don't think it's
value.
You don't think it's
I think there's still a little more. A little higher. Just
because they're closer to Denver and Fort Collins.
But it's probably what 35 to 40 minutes from Denver, where Colorado Springs is an hour from Denver. So that's why the further you get from Denver and jobs, like the less you're going to pay. But I feel like those are very legitimate, good options. And there's some cool neighborhood feels that are like have water included in the community, which is rare in Denver. So you get some things, bigger lots sometimes that are just hard to find here.
Yeah. So all of these towns that we've mentioned, if you have a boat in Colorado, northern Colorado is the place to be. Because otherwise you have Chatfield and Cherry Creek, and that's about it. That's it. Mm-hmm. All these, you got some other really small private lakes up north. You have some bigger lakes, like public lakes as well. So just some food for thought there. But what do you think? Frederick, good? Anything else on Frederick, Firestone?
The only thing I would say is Windsor. We were like bored between games one time, and we took a walk around this community. It was called Pelican Bay, and it was the coolest community. Like amazing golf course community.
Did you even see a pelican?
No, we did not. But
interesting.
But I think you might. We see pelicans at Chatfield all the time, like the great white northern pelicans.
Yep.
And in Cherry Creek Park, like you'll see pelicans. But Pelican Bay and Pelican Shores is a really cool community to check out if you haven't seen that up there. And I think it's very unique compared to what we have in the Denver metro area. So next on the list, we got Wheat Ridge. Now we're more central. We're getting back to not driving.
I don't know how underrated Wheat Ridge is. Do you think it is underrated?
Well, let's talk about it. I do.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because look at what you could pay, like 5 blocks north in the Highlands.
Yeah.
Right.
That's enough for me.
The Highlands is like $900 per square foot in some areas. And so it's absolutely absurd, right, as far as the cost per living there. But you can live with great proximity to everything in Wheat Ridge, to the mountains, to downtown, to great neighborhoods like the Highlands for like a fraction of the cost of what you would pay in the Highlands. So that's what I like about Wheat Ridge.
The other thing I love about Wheat Ridge, we show a lot of homes in Wheat Ridge comparatively to these other towns that we're talking about, like Erie and Frederick and Windsor and stuff. Mm-hmm. Wheat Ridge is part of our expertise. We know Wheat Ridge pretty well. And the cool thing about Wheat Ridge, sounds stupid, Wheat Ridge, is that there's a ton of investors, or especially during COVID time, a ton of investors were buying up all these old homes because there's really no new developments in Wheat Ridge. So investors came in and started just remodeling all these 60s and 70s style homes and making them like really, really pretty. So you can find like a diamond in the rough in some of these neighborhoods. That's just dynamite for the price, for the upgrades, for everything that you're wanting. They're a little bit smaller as far as square footage goes, most of these neighborhoods. But like if you're a newly married couple, or you and your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever wanting to move into a place, it's a great opportunity because it's so, like you said, so close in proximity to everything. The prices are right there. And in most cases, you can find a really updated older home. And those homes back then were built like ox.
Totally.
Like they're solid.
Old brick ranches.
Yep.
They're great.
Yep.
It's a funny story about that. So like you say there's no building going on. There actually is one, like a Toll Brothers community going up in there.
In Wheat Ridge?
Townhomes in Wheat Ridge. And I had a buyer who was looking to buy one. They had basically like their hearts were set on this place. I went to go look at it with them. And what they would be staring at from their porch, from their patio, would have been a a train like junkyard. It was an automobile and like train tracks and then a junkyard. And they were like, but look at the mountain views behind it. And it was true. Like the mountain views were sick. Like they were awesome behind it. But then you look down and it was like all these like busted, broken car parts and an old like rundown train yard.
Gotta look beyond
like
what you see.
a ghost town. So I was like, do you really want to be waking up to that every morning? And we had a little heart to heart, and they decided like, yeah, let's keep looking. And we ended up backing out of that one and found them another one that was like facing like all these lush trees and everything. And they're like so happy that they did that. They keep telling me like, we're so happy with
Was it off 38th
I can't remember. It's
by the King Supers?
probably, if that's a Toll Brothers community, then that's probably the only one
Can't.
in the last 10
find
years built in Wheat Ridge. But you do get some scrapes and rebuilds in Wheat Ridge too, where people are like, I love the area, don't love the flat ranch, one level living. And so they build up and build vertical with these scrapes and pop the top on places like they've been doing in the Highlands for years. And many parts of Denver. It's crazy. You'll go through parts of Denver and it's like 80% scrapes. They don't look like
Build
the
a
original
big old box
character.
on that lot.
Yep. So Wheat Ridge is cool. What else is cool about Wheat Ridge?
There's also, oh, sorry, were you going to go?
Proximity, you're just really close to I-70. You're on the west side, kind of the northwest side of the metro area, so you can get onto I-70, get into the mountains real quick. So and you're close. It's got enough infrastructure built up where your amenities are real close by as well when you're in town.
Yeah.
There's also a large park system with Anderson Park being one of the parks there, and just lots of stuff to do outdoors.
Now, this is technically not Wheat Ridge. But
Are you going to bring up Lakeside?
Hey, come on. If you love rickety old amusement parks and you love the thrill of potentially dying,
What's the like wild squirrel?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been there. But it is lakeside. It is next to a small lake.
Yeah.
It's
Body of water.
interesting looking lake. But
Water.
yeah, it is like one of those fun like one-time visits where you're like, I feared for my life, but I had a good time. Lakeside Amusement Park. It's not far. It's like literally across the border to
It's been there since 1908.
to Lakewood.
The merry-go-round there. They have the Cyclone. They have the famous Dragon coaster, and then I think it's the Wild Chipmunk. I think that's the like old rickety wood coaster. But it is like
Ride at your own risk.
you're barely surviving.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. I went there one time in the last 10 years, and it felt like,
An experience.
oh my goodness.
I knew kids that just went there to find a fight. That was it. That's Lakeside
funny.
for you. So it's a great time.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
It's a piece of history. 1908. It's legit.
Yeah, it's a cool spot though. I like it. It's outside of Lakeside, which technically isn't Wheat Ridge. It's technically Lakewood, but it really is a good place to live. Very family friendly and close to just about everything. You're not far from anything. Mm-hmm. So
Tiny little city, really small, called Edgewater. Right. That's number 4. Edgewater's right in between, like Wheat Ridge.
I guess it is considered a city, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got Sloan's Lake right there. It's a tiny little dot on the map, but you've got a really cool spot where again it's like Wheat Ridge. I would say like the reasons why I like Wheat Ridge, I like Edgewater, but it's better because you have the lake right there. And so price between $500,000 and $800,000. Where Wheat Ridge is going to be $500,000 to $900,000. We had Frederick and Firestone, just because we forgot to say it, $400,000 to $700,000.
Yep.
So these are the different price points there. And
There's a famous restaurant in the Edgewater area that might be associated with like South Park and a little bit of a show, Casa Bonita.
Casa Bonita is right there. It's very close by. Yeah. Is it? It's got to be a Lakewood address though, right? On Casa Bonita.
Yeah. Casa Bonita. I mean, one may relate it to the same thrill as Lakeside.
Not anymore.
Different risk.
To be. Now it's $43 million later. It's looking pretty good.
Edgewater's cool though. Like anytime I visit Edgewater, I'm just like, this is such a quaint little neighborhood. They have like its own market.
Yeah.
There, and then right across the street is Sloan Lake. So it's literally you can be walking your dog in this nice little neighborhood, or you can go walk it at Stone's Lake. You can go
No motorized boats, so it's always just glass.
Yeah.
Like it looks so pretty, and then you're looking at it from the west side, and you see the glassy water with the downtown behind it.
Yeah.
And it is a sight to behold.
It's almost like
awesome.
it's almost like a subdivision of like Wheat Ridge or Lakewood. It really is. It's not huge. It's really, I mean,
pretty tight knit.
couple blocks,
Yeah,
but
definitely. They've got a public market there in Edgewater, and everything's walkable around there, which is nice. And then you got access to, all the other things around it, in Lakewood. And
like there's literally just down on this like very south side, you have Target, King Soopers, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, like Shake Shack. Like you've got all these, everything you'd ever want that you'd find in Denver, but it's like right in your little neighborhood, just right there.
Yep.
They've done a good job. Really good job with that neighborhood.
A lot of young professionals, people that are downsizing, that want to be more connected, but don't want all the space that they have in their house. Love this area. And people just that love the city. They want to be closer to the city. They want to see views of the city. Like that's why people go to Edgewater. So then we shift to something that's very different than all of these that we've talked about so far. And number 5 is the King Carroll Valley and King Carroll Ranch areas.
Very different.
So these, although price point is much higher here, up to, in their homes up to $2 million in the King Carroll Valley. But usually typically like from the King Carroll Ranch and King Carroll Ranch Plains, you're in the mid 6s all the way up to 1.3 on average in the valley. And so you're seeing beautiful scenery, red rocks all around, a lot like Red Rocks Amphitheater, but like a neighborhood full of them. And you get past the mouth of the valley and it really opens up and just becomes something very special.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of private trails back there that are the people that live in the area can access, and you can bring your friends and family with out there as well. But just, they're in the foothills. There's deer roaming on the streets, and they don't have a fear in the world. So
Yeah.
Don't you technically have 2 golf courses there too? You have the Meadows, right?
Ravenna and
Deer Creek
and Arrowhead.
Arrowhead.
Are the two
That's
big
the
ones.
Arrowhead's cool.
Yeah.
Arrowhead's really pretty. You've got like the Flatiron rocks out there that are
Ravenna's private, Arrowhead's public. One
Yeah.
of the coolest public courses in the state, I think. Yeah, it's a ton of
beautiful.
fun.
Is it Fossil Traces, another one over there?
That's golden. Yeah,
Golden, okay.
Fossil Traces up.
Oh, but you have one of the greatest musical venues ever, technically, in King Carroll. You have to drive through King Carroll to get there. It's technically Morrison, but you're driving through King Carroll to get there. I will say that it is. I mean, it's got to be bordered, right? Red Rocks is literally behind the hogback.
Well, there's like Willow Springs that's in between it. So like
That's true.
You kind of depends on where you're driving from, but
Close enough.
yeah, you got
We mentioned Shields being in Windsor or in Firestone, and it's not. Red Rocks is not, but it's awesome. You're right there.
but
Easy
incredible
access.
amenities. I would say like one of the top 3 great communities in Littleton. It's got
Highly desired area.
yeah, I mean just great pool community, tennis courts. They have some of the best staffing for their tennis pros and that's why the Chatfield tennis team is always so good because they all come up through the valley. Just private trail networks. Like they card you if you're, to see if you're a resident back there, right? Have you ever been carded, Brock?
I have not been on the trails yet. So it's on
Why
the
would
list,
why would you consider this one underrated?
I just think people don't understand because they don't go back into the valley how beautiful it is back there. And it's still within 25 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how deep you are in the valley, to downtown, 20 to 25 to DTC. So you're still pretty close to jobs and everything. And you've got like, quite a few restaurants and different things up King Carroll and Wadsworth and Kipling. So everything's like still pretty close by. You're 5 to 10 minutes from a grocery store, but like it's so scenic and beautiful and bigger lots too. Like that's the other thing people don't get is there's a lot of half-acre lots back there that are awesome.
I've seen 1 acre and 3/4 acres pretty common.
Yep.
So in the ranch side. So
Yeah. So it's not cheap, it's underrated, I feel like, for the area. And also you're in an amazing school district in Jeffco schools, Chatfield,
Yeah,
Falcon Bluffs.
You do pay somewhat of a premium for it, though.
Yeah, and it is more established homes, so you're going to be buying something that's a little bit older, mid 90s. Some of them are even earlier than that. So
Yep.
The Valley's got, going to need some TLC or maybe some updates. So, and there's a big disparity between the ones that are not updated and the ones that are. So there's a big price difference there. So
Totally. Yeah. Yep.
but great place, really tranquil. Like you can sit out on your deck and just be at peace for many hours on end. So
I saw one of the craziest homes ever in King Carroll. It was the lowest price home on the Valley side. No, Valley Ranch side, behind the Hogback. I always get those confused. But it had it had a structural issue. And from the front door to the back door, it was like a foot sledding hill.
Yeah. So bad.
Someone bought it though.
Yeah.
An investor bought it, and I think they piered it and fixed the foundation and everything. But
If you know what you're doing with structural repairs, you can
you can come
do some
out
good
way
repairs.
on top in that area in particular. But
big risk.
doesn't happen all the time back there, but that was one of the ones that I saw. I was like,
Yeah.
how crazy is this?
Definitely. But you'll see deer, you'll see elk, you'll see all kinds of wildlife back there.
Yep.
Maybe even occasional bobcat or something like that. But it's a gorgeous setting. And then you've got the King Carroll Ranch area, which is outside of the valley, just on the east side of E470. And you've got another huge set of tennis courts, pool. You've got a little frisbee golf, frolf course out there that's a lot of fun, and big park and just a lot of green space. And so that's why I think this is just one of the premier communities in Littleton.
And they also have one of the greatest sledding hills, and what was it, Kipling and Ken Carl?
Yeah.
It's got a nice little sledding hill that faces north, and it's a real popular one. So
Oh,
a good one.
I used to go there all
Really
the time
good
growing
one.
up.
Yep.
Definitely. Awesome. All right, number 6 on the list. We got Old Town Arvada. And I've talked about this quite a bit on the YouTube channel as far as like how Old Town Arvada is one of the best buys right now. And one of the reasons for that is you've got a great school that it pertains to. Arvada West is fantastic. If you look at greatschools.org, 8 out of 10. They have, Jeffco schools in general is one of the better ones, I would say. Really good, urban feel, but it's like an urban suburban blend with lots of charm, lots of personality. The real estate varies quite a bit. But amenities you're close to the light rail. You can get all the way into downtown with the light rail. You got bike paths. You got the Old Town restaurants and breweries that are all close by and very walkable. So it's just a really cool spot and easy access to the mountains too, which I think a lot of people appreciate.
yeah, they do a lot with when the Rockies games and football games. They'll get you downtown on the light rail pretty quick. They also do, like during the holidays, they do a holiday pop-up market in their downtown area. They've got Saturdays with Santa. They even have an eggnog and cider competition in the month of December. So if you enjoy that, that might be a good one to go out there and judge.
Booyah,
So,
that could get interesting.
10th annual, so they've been doing it for a while. But no, they've got a lot of nice things downtown. So, and a lot of history there as well. So some pretty eccentric shops that'll have some fun. And you come in and the owner of the shop has their puppy in training that you can, just go say hi to the puppy. But not too common. You see that in the big box stores. So
Cool. That's awesome.
a lot of nostalgia there.
Yeah. Well, and there's no new construction going up other than Layden Rock. So that whole Layden Rock area that's like 15 minutes northwest of Old Town. Like you got to drive 15, 20 minutes before you get to any new construction. So that's why nothing's really competing with that, because the people that are buying in Old Town are buying it because they love that old mini downtown, like historic downtown feel.
Yep.
And they enjoy that a lot.
It's a somewhat similar feel to Wheat Ridge and Edgewater, as far as the the homes and just a lot of brick ranches and stuff like that. So you're gonna find a lot of other ones like I said before with Edgewater and stuff, kind of the gentrifying of those neighborhoods. You'll find a lot of
They have the best
updated.
German bakery down there that's been around since 1963. So
What's it
that?
called?
Rylander Bakery.
Better than Taste of Denmark?
I don't know, but this has been around. I think we need an official vote here. We need
man.
to go sample.
Taste of Denmark's amazing.
Gonna have to go.
It's just they
taste a couple
close at like 10
sausages.
a.m. and I'm never there before 10 a.m.
It's breakfast food, Landon.
They have these like bear claws, these almond cream bear claws that I swear it's the best pastry I've ever had in my life. But that's in Lakewood off Old Kipling, if anybody wants to go there. So who should be looking at these suburbs? Who are some of the people that should be turning their heads and paying attention to these?
I think it really appeals to the folks that want to be able to have a little bit of a nightlife and entertainment, but don't want to have to deal with the downtown and the parking and that type of stuff. So you've kind of got your small little community. There's something to be said about being able to just walk and deal with that. And people that want to be close to, or if they have to commute to downtown, they have that ability, but yet they still get that small suburb feel.
It's a great place for the youngins.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yep.
Young families, single, married, just married, dating, whatever.
Really popular for the dinks, the dual income, no kids.
Dinks love these areas.
That's what I was
Dinks.
going to say when you were like, would you rather go north or south? I feel like being younger, I'd rather go north.
Yeah.
But if I had a family and stuff, I'd rather
calling us old?
go
The
south.
South, yeah. Yeah, because with my kids, like that's where we go if we're going to do something outdoors is south. 'Cause of
Yeah.
the scenery, but I totally get that. Yeah. Well, and you're a Fort Collins girl, so
Yes, I am.
Colorado State, go Rams. So the other, like if I was a remote worker, I would strongly be considering some of these areas because I think most people that work remotely, like they don't need to go like to this big, huge downtown like Denver a lot of times, like unless you're going to see a show or a game or something like that. Most of the time, these people just want like a place with local breweries, local restaurants, a little quaint downtown area like what Erie offers, right? Or what Edgewater offers in some of these cases. So you can save a lot of money by living in a location like that where you have that type of little downtown area, but it may not be, it may be isolated from Denver per se. So I think those people should take a strong look at it.
The outside of Wheat Ridge, Arvada, and Edgewater, I would say some of those northern areas, if you're looking to buy or step up in like size, but not have to pay a little bit more. If you're willing to move areas, those are great places for like if you're bursting at the seams in your home now with kids or whatever it is, you're growing out of it.
Which a lot of people are.
Yep, a lot
After
of
the
people are.
pandemic and holding on to your interest rates, you need more space. You do.
Yep. And you can get a brand new home and you're not paying out the nose for it, relatively speaking, in a brand new area. It's got some really good up and coming amenities. So
Definitely. And bigger lots too, right? Like some people are just like, I hate having neighbors so close. I hate the tight feel, of my neighborhood. So yeah, drive a little bit and you'll find bigger lots, bigger space. It'll be more like the Midwest, not
with
so
potentially
much like
better loan
tight and
options
packed.
too.
Yeah.
Like that's some really good upside to all of this stuff.
Yep. Definitely.
And very, very limited negative.
So yeah, as Denver grows, affordability shifts, and these underrated suburbs are becoming the places where smart buyers are moving, not just for the price, but also for lifestyle. And so to close here, these communities are positioned for tremendous growth, we feel like, over the next 3 to 5 years. And if you're looking for value, space, strong schools, these hidden gems could be, something that should be at the top of your list. And so reach out to us. We would love to help you to find a great neighborhood and one of these underrated spots in town where you can just have a great quality of life and enjoy your life here. So our number's here. Please feel free to reach out, and we look forward to helping you, and we'll catch you on the next one.